This video is made possible by Francisco Herrera Jr. at the Honda Superstore of Joliet. Francisco is a longtime car enthusiast who is dedicated to finding the perfect vehicle for you. Email him at the address on the screen or contact him with his information found in the description below.
Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I am driving a 2020 Infiniti Q50. Up front is a 3.0 liter turbocharged V6. Down below is a 7-speed automatic transmission. Now, I am super excited to be driving this here Infiniti Q50 for a couple of different reasons. First of all, I've driven two of them in the past, a 2016 and a 2019, and I've liked them a lot. And so I'm excited to be driving this because I know I'm going to be comfortable and I know I'm going to enjoy it. And the second reason I'm super excited to be driving the Q50 is because I find Infiniti such a peculiar brand. I don't know how they're keeping the lights on right now, but that's not my problem, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on. Now, before we get on to the rest of the video, if you guys are interested in selling your car, please click the link in the description below. Cashforcars.com will buy your car with a salvage title, good title, running, non-running, whatever it is. Please go support the channel by clicking the link in the description below. You can get a fast and easy quote for free, and they will pick up your vehicle in less than 24 hours. So let's get back to that 3-liter twin turbocharged V6. I will put the horsepower numbers up on the screen. This thing is a quick little car. It's not little. I don't know why I said little, but it is a quick car. Is it the fastest thing in the world? No, but with a couple little things done to it, a nice little tune to it, maybe some bigger injectors, things like that, this thing can be an absolute monster on the road if you want it to be. And I like that customization, and I like that there's big aftermarket support for these cars. I will put the miles per gallon up on the screen if that's something you are interested in, if you want one of these just as a daily driver, a comfortable commuter while you work on your S14 in your garage. That's something you might want to know. And we'll see if it happens here, but this engine might be the new engine in Nissan's Z Proto, their next evolution of the Z car. All right, let's see what it'll do in sport mode. That was just a rolling pull. It gets up and goes. You won't have any power issues in this car. You won't have any power issues in this car. That's all I have to say. It's quick. Like I said, paired to an automatic transmission, it shifts fine. Nothing really to write home about, nothing interesting. I'm not noticing anything weird about it. It's shifting when it should, and that's really all I can ask for from a vehicle like this. Last but not least, this is all-wheel drive. Now, you can get a rear-wheel drive Q50, but this is the Luxe, and it is all-wheel drive, and I like that, especially around here in the Midwest. You know, we get some harsh winters. I like knowing that I have all-wheel drive. I think that helps me sleep at night just a little bit more. So now we got to talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have two physical gauges. On the left is my tachometer with coolant temperature down at the bottom, and on the right is my speedometer with fuel down at the bottom. Then I have a little center display giving me a bunch of different information. I'll scroll through here. Nothing really too crazy. Again, for a luxury vehicle, this is a little bit outdated. And that's sort of going to be a running theme here with the 2020 Q50. Back when I drove the Q50 in 2017, everything was fresh and new. But now, 3 years later, not much has changed, and it's starting to show that. A lot of other luxury brands have sort of moved on. And so that's evident with the center screen, but it gets more evident as we move forward. On the steering wheel on the left, I have my selector dial, volume control, phone options, and on the right, I have my cruise control settings and my button to switch that center screen I just talked about in the gauges. The steering wheel itself looks nice, feels good in my hands, has a good weight, and it's leather wrapped, feels all right. To the left of me, I have traction control off and my trunk popper. And then on the door, I have my power mirrors, power locks, and power windows. Moving into the center, I've always thought that it's kind of strange how the Infiniti Q50 has two different screens. The upper screen, this is my infotainment screen. So right now I'm looking at Apple CarPlay. Yes, the Q50 does have Apple CarPlay, thank God. I was almost worried that it wouldn't. And of course, Android Auto. It is a touchscreen. It has decent quality to it. It looks good. And that's all I can really ask for. But then down below that, my second screen is for the car itself. So I have my information, driver assistance, settings, driver mode, select, Infiniti Intuition, quick guide, things like that. I can also access my Apple CarPlay on here and it'll beam it up to the upper screen. Pre-Apple CarPlay, it was really weird to have two separate screens. However, now it almost sort of feels like two different devices doing different things, doing different tasks. And so I actually like the dual screen setup now that it has Apple CarPlay. My climate controls are down below the screen as well as on the sides of the screen. So I actually have a climate button that I can hit and adjust within the screen. However, I do have buttons on the outside of the screen. So I do actually have some physical tactile buttons. And you guys know me, I like a good mix of both tactile and screen, and I think this does it pretty well. Of course, I do have some tactile radio controls as well, big fan of that, and I do have a little ashtray 12-volt cigarette lighter. The shifter looks fine. Again, it looks a little bit dated for a 2020. I hope that Infiniti sort of re-ups and refreshes this car soon. However, it works well, has a good satisfying clunk when you put it into gear, feels good, doesn't feel cheap, and that's what I look for in a shifter. Then I do have a little selector wheel for the upper screen. So I can run Apple CarPlay through this little joystick, which is really, really nice, although it is touchscreen as well. So I'm not sure why it really has both. It doesn't really need both because I can touch the touchscreen. You know, going 50 miles an hour, I can use it if I want. Not that I should, you shouldn't, but it never locks me out, so I don't know why I need that joystick. For instance, in older Mazdas, mid-20-teens Mazdas, they're touchscreen when in park, but when driving, you have to use the stick. That makes sense. I don't know why they had both of its touchscreen and joystick, but I guess you get to pick whatever you want. Down below that, I do have my drive mode button, so I have personal, sport, standard, eco, and snow, which is nice. It gives me some customization. This isn't a super performance vehicle, and so I understand that there's no sport plus or track mode or anything like that. It doesn't really need it. Finishing out the center console, I do have two cup holders. Now, the seats are nice and comfortable, but speaking of seats, we do have back seats, so let's do a back seat review. All right, so we're in the back of the 2020 Infiniti Q50, and I don't really get much back here. Of course, I get vents. I do get little openable cup holders in this sort of center console. That's really it. Headroom, I'm about touching the ceiling. I'm 5'11", so I have to slouch down a little bit. Legroom is okay. Footroom is actually the worst. I had to jam my left foot to get it in here. And this is my driving position. Of course, that can be adjusted. But out of a luxury car like this, I wish I got a little bit more room back here. That being said, we'll take a quick look at the trunk, and then we'll talk about the looks. There it is. That's your trunk. Now we gotta talk about the looks. I used to really, really like the look of the Q50, and I still hold those feelings that it's a good looking car. However, as I mentioned with the interior, it's starting to show its age. When I drove the 2017, I think it was a 2017, that was owned by my friend David, the first time I saw that in 2017, I was a freshman in college, I looked at that car and said, wow, that is a beautiful, good-looking car. And I still think that that's true for that time. And now we're a couple days away from 2021, and it still looks this way. They haven't changed it at all, and I think it's sort of lost its edge in looking modern. This, to me, looks very late 2010s, because it is. So, again, I'm going to keep saying this, but Nissan, Infiniti, time for a revamp. And that is my final thoughts on the Infiniti Q50. I love driving these cars. I love experiencing these cars. I think these cars are very, very comfortable. I think the power is great off the lot. Absolutely great off the lot. There's nothing more I can want out of a daily driver. This car is quick. Back road, spirited driving, highways, you're going to have a lot of fun driving this car. However, I can't justify buying this car brand new. I would never walk into an Infiniti dealer, especially Infiniti of Naperville, because those guys are and drive off the lot in one of these brand new. I would not buy one of these brand new. I think there are tons of other brand new vehicles that you can buy for the same price and be just as happy, if not happier. But again, however, if you can find one of these used, they knock a couple grand off. This car, this 2020, is a used vehicle from Honda of Joliet. They knocked 11 grand off of the original price. This is still a current year car. This is a 2020 and I'm in 2020. But now this car is listed at a huge discount. Then it makes sense. Then I can overlook the fact that this car desperately needs a refresh. I can look over the fact that this car doesn't have heated seats. I can look over the fact that Infiniti is just slowly casting itself away from society. I can look past all of that at a bargained price. This car is not a good new vehicle. Do not go to the Infiniti dealer and buy one of these. Find one of these used. Save some money, because I really think that this is a fantastic car, but not for what they're asking for these. That's how I feel about the Q50. It's not a good new car, but it is a fantastic used car. And so speaking of this car being a used car, this car is for sale right now from the Honda Superstore of Joliet. Thank you, Francisco, for getting me in the seat of this car. Francisco's information is up on the screen. He himself is a car enthusiast. We actually spent about 20 minutes talking about this car and Nissans and Z31s and all that stuff before I started driving this car today. And so he's a car enthusiast and he is in it to find the right car for you. He loves the product. He loves cars. And so he is at your service. He will find the right car for you. And he is from the Honda Superstore of Joliet. His email's up on the screen, his phone number, all of his information is down in the description below. Please email him, text him, whatever it might be. Get the ball rolling, because he will find the right car for you. And that might be this. Like I said, this car is under a hefty discount from Honda of Joliet. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.